Hello and welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I'm Mr. C of Iroko Critic, and yes, Mrs. C's mouth will not be bending this week. See, kept my word. And yes, speaking of keeping my words, I haven't been reading out the comments like I promised previously. So I'm just going to read out a couple of comments that came from the To Kill a Monkey episode. I shall not be adding my comments because you can find all of it on that 3 hour episode that we did. But Ebube said, I really like the performance. Most of the cast were stellar, production quality to a large extent. I liked the core themes of the story, the cinematography, and definitely the sound world. I didn't like the story after episode 4. A lot of parts felt undone. The end was underwhelming, borderline annoying. There was a disconnect that didn't solidify the end resolution. Before I forget, there was something odd about continuity, especially from episode 5. Yeah, I think there was a few continuity errors in the editing for me throughout that. Hey, I said I wasn't going to be adding my comments, but there we go. Difficult. Megami Sama said, loved it. There are a few plot twists you could see coming, but overall, it was a beautiful watch. The soundtrack was stellar. Everything. I also loved the ending. There we go. So two different and diverse comments about Killer Monkey. Don't say NFC isn't diverse. Anyway, I will allow you to enjoy Nollywood Film Club discussing Finding Nina. Welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We do discuss Nollywood movies every Sunday, 6 p.m. What? Nollywood, not just Nollywood movies. Today we will be discussing Finding Nina. We'll talk about what we like in the good. We'll talk about what we didn't like in the bad. And we'll have a pushback section and do a summary at the end. Okay. If you don't want to speak, but you want to contribute, please comment underneath the space and we'll share the thoughts with the group. So, Nollywood must change. What did you like about Finding Nina?
Hi, Vanessa. It's good to speak before you today. Okay, what do I like about Finding Nina? Okay. Joe, she's a pretty girl. The other lead female, Nina herself, I'll try to learn her name. She's a pretty girl, beautiful ladies. And the uncle, the main character's uncle, he speaks Hausa. I don't know whether he speaks it well, but I enjoyed him speaking. So I don't speak Hausa, and I don't understand what he's speaking. So because someone might come and say, "Oh, that's not how they speak Hausa," but I enjoyed him speaking Hausa. Some of the visuals, the landscape. I think I like the idea for this movie. It's a common idea, actually. It's a common storyline. But I like that they are trying to show us the northern Nigeria kind of thing. They're trying to say, oh, this is not how they live in this thing. But the same thing the guy was trying to say, I think it was the same thing that the reality they showed us again, the boy carrying plates about, kind of thing. So, what else do I like? I think that's all I like about Finding It Now. Not really much. Not really much. Just the pretty ladies and the scenery. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Nollywood must change. I see you snuck in. You like the intention there. You just disguise it. Well done. I saw it. Just letting you know. In the car, right, tell us what you liked about Finding Nina.
Okay, so what I like about Finding Nina, I like the north. They did not tell us exactly where in the north, but I guess that's part of the course at this time. So I liked the shots. I liked some of the art direction. I love the set production. So I like the set production of like some of the houses, the interior designs. They seemed like they were cozy and nice. Yes, that's mostly what I liked about Finding Nina at the moment that I can remember.
I know this. This was going to be. I knew this space was going to be like this. I knew it.
I don't know
I
what you're talking about, though.
I knew it. People are talking about set and production. People in the audience, you can tell what kind of a space is going to be. And in fact, the fact that Vanessa was not first should tell you. All right, Vanessa, tell us what you liked about
It's my
finding.
turn. Hey God. I was hoping that there will be like 10 people before me. Why would I know they this space? Why would I know what talk? I've not, let me tell you people my God honest truth. I had an intense morning deep cleaning my house. And
Not good club.
and
What? Why are you telling this story from the
I
morning?
have a reason now. And I knocked out after that. All my body was paining me, so I decided to sleep. Only for me to wake up by 5:30. I woke up by 5:30 and I realized I've not watched Finding Nemo. So guys, I'm currently watching Finding Nemo as this space is going on. So I guess from the how many minutes of this film I've watched, 30 minutes of this film that I have watched. Yeah, the scenery, like Nollywood Moshe said, very beautiful. I like the scene, which I am currently watching, where he and the young boy are walking through the village, and he's showing him the rock, and he's taking him to that other Jaiki village. Very nice, the house of his uncle, also very nice. I like his uncle. He was the guy from King of Boys, and what is that Ebony Live TV series? Not War, the predecessor of War, Sons of the Caliphate. He was also really there. I quite like him. He's aged a bit, which alright, cool, but I still like him. I think he's great. Um, I thought we would see him more after King of Boys, but apparently not. Yeah, Tommy. Is her name Tommy Ojo?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, very beautiful young lady, quite lovely. Also nice to see Vine Olugu, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful man. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, all right, Mrs. C, tell us what you liked about Finding Nina.
It's already my turn. But anywho, in summary, wow, not in summary. What did I like about Finding Nina? I thought it looked beautiful. I really liked the look of it. I liked everyone's makeup in this. And this should not be a thing, but I have seen some awful makeup in films, so I appreciate that. Tommy Ojo is a beautiful, beautiful girl. She did all right. The person who plays Nina, I can't remember her name as well. She did great. Well, she looked great. The guy who I think we've mentioned, the uncle, I really enjoyed him as well. His character as well was just very animated, and I quite enjoyed that. Yeah, that's what I liked about Finding Nina.
It's my turn already. It's 11 past 6. I promise you. I told the podcast people that when I was apologizing for you people being verbose on here. I told podcast people that if today's session passed 2 hours 20 minutes, Mrs. C's mouth would bend. so, so anyway, keeping true to my word. Anyway, so what I liked about Finding Nina, you guys just talk about frames. Frames were pretty, yes. So took a lot of pretty frames. I thought there was some interesting choices in directing. I don't think they always worked, but somebody was trying to really be intentional with the shots they were choosing.
couple of things that stand out, like when he notices that mountain was really pretty, and he takes a picture of it. I liked that they framed it well, and it did look like a nice shot. It's important that I wish he didn't dress it up as that's very beautiful, because that's not how imagine a photographer would do. I wish he just did it because he recognizes it as a beautiful shot. But I think for somebody who was interested in photography, I think it was very nice and very fitting that they framed it really aesthetically pleasing. And I thought it was another thing that I thought was interesting was there's some points, spoiler for those who are still watching. Spoilers for those who are still watching. There's one point where what do you call it? JB is having a conversation with Nina, and he's having it in the same location. He's having a conversation for a second time with Nina in the same location in that wilderness. But the conversation is going to take a different turn, and the way he shoots it is telling. It's like we now see them with their backs to us. I thought that was an interesting choice. I thought it was good, fitting. That's the way we get introduced to the show. I like things like that. That's what I mean, like interesting choices of shots to show a film. And I think there are loads of things scattered around there. And there's the young kid in this. I thought it was very good. Like, I think it's very rare we have young children actors that don't suck. And I don't even think this guy doesn't suck. I think he's very good. I think he's I think he's stronger than the protagonist, to be honest, in terms of acting skills. I just thought I know a lot of times he's speaking a language I don't understand, and maybe that masks some of the acting, but I thought from what I could observe, I thought he did a very good job. I think I've now seen enough from Tomi Ojo that I can say that I think she's going to be one of those people who can give you solid performances over quite a different range. I'm quite a fan now, and it's nice to say that she's beautiful and stuff, but she's very pretty, but I think she is actually very reliable, and she has quite the range on her as well. So I really wish somebody would give her material that will, showcase all of this. And then the other thing I liked about this is there's one scene where they beat JB black and blue. That's my favorite scene. The only drawback of that scene is that it was not long enough. I wish they beat the hell out of him more. And I should tell you how I feel about the protagonist. Anyway, so that's it. Oh, wait, no, we have Hara Mani. Hara Mani, tell us what you liked about Finding Nina.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, host. Oh, I think I like Nina. I like her character. I like the way she talks, and I think regarding photography, I don't know a lot about photography, but I think those were some really great shots, and the way the color of the movie, I think it has this contrast to it. Like I said, I don't know much about photography, but it looked really good. But I think one thing, I don't want to criticize a movie because I know it took effort and time.
Hara, what do you things we like at the moment? We'll prevent things we don't like.
Okay, so, okay.
Talk about anything you like first. Don't worry, we'll come to that section later.
All right. So I think the the art. I'm a fan of art. I love art a lot, and seeing some of those art at the art shop, I really liked some of those arts, and I liked his performance, Jabir. Yeah, JB. I liked his performance, especially the time when he was lying on the couch and thinking about, was it right? Yeah, and that smile. I think that is real acting right there. You don't teach that in acting school. That is talent right there. So his acting was very good. So is Raya. Her acting too her acting was great. Apart from that, I think what's his name? The other guy with the beard. Him being like the comedic relief of the group. I think it really worked in the movie's favor. So that's all of it. That's all I've got.
All right. Okay. No, thank you. Think I think the a couple of people who have dropped also their likes. Let's read them. Still Human says likes the movie was 90 minutes long. True. As nobody wants to do a 90-minute movie anymore. Pretty locations. I enjoyed the uncle's performance. Beautiful women. Yeah, I like the uncle's performance enough, I would say. Just sometimes it felt a little, and people who have been listening to this space will understand what I mean by Bimba Demoye-ish, which is, it's cool, but I felt like somebody who was doing a little too much sometimes. But yeah, I understand it. Jeremy says, it is good when Nollywood tries something different in terms of location and the use of non-mainstream leads. Yeah, I think this is the thing Nemzia and First Features Production are doing relatively well these days. So Ademi says, finding Nina, Nemzia does well with good pictures. I love the dining scene between Abdul and Jabir's uncle. No words until he said thank you. A lot of messages were passed in that silent space. And Mui says, the lady that played Nina is really pretty. Apparently she's in Beyond the Veil. I'll go see it. I shall. I like some of the scenery. Anything outside Lagos works for me, to be honest. Then I liked the performance of the boy who was showing our lead around. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the bad. Let's talk about things that we do not like. So, Nollywood must change. Tell us some of the things you do not like.
Okay. I feel like this movie was kind of a bit boring in a way, like, and that has to do with the writing because when they started talking about Nina and all that, there was not much happening. I think that's why they were like 40 minutes into the movie. I can't remember him mentioning Nina when he wanted to leave Lagos or wherever he was, to go to the north, to go to his place. I couldn't remember that. I didn't remember that. So there was not much. It was just the Tomio just characters, own conflict that kept me. Okay, she likes him, so him was just the. Let me just say, the main character was just playing for the first 40 minutes. He was just playing. So when they brought up the idea of, oh, he liked Tommy Ojo's character, I was like, from where to where? He never gave anything like that. So, and the whole conflict of Nina, how they disturbed him, Nina saying, oh, I thought we were in a relationship. I was like, from where to where? So the writing was just underwhelming, and I felt like most of the projects from this first time stuff they were doing, the writings have been underwhelming. Most of the writings have been underwhelming. So I felt like during the workshop, the writing, I think we've seen like 6 of these movies, and they've not been, great writings. So the writing of this movie was kind of underwhelming, and the characters were the whole, most of the plots that could have just explored earlier were just used as shock values and something like that. So They wouldn't do too much. And the performances, oh, the main character performance was underwhelming. That was not a good performance. I will not say it's very bad. It's not very bad because like you are watching and you are, you turn it over and like, oh, this is disgusting. No, the performance was underwhelming. And when he started speaking English, he was speaking outside to him. I was like, this guy, they told us he lived in the north, to like that boy's age. So when you were that boy's age, you didn't learn your language because it was just that English he was responding with was throwing me off. Like it was just, I was just like, no, I won't enjoy this movie. The moment he started speaking outside to me and he was speaking English, I was like, no, I won't enjoy this movie. That was when I knew like, no, we are not going anywhere. I think they could have used someone who is a native speaker, even if they're trying to tell us, oh, he doesn't speak much of Hausa. They could have just used someone who could speak little. I was expecting him to speak little, but the English was just, it wasn't making, because most of the native speakers in this movie, they were performing well, like not well, but they were good actors. Even that man, was he Imam or whoever that gave him that ring, the man was, someone, I don't think the person is an actor, maybe he's an actor, I don't know, but his performance was good, but the main character response was, ruining the whole thing. So the main character's performance was bad in this. I didn't like some of the shots. This one that you guys as in, you like the camera angles and all that. Especially when they started, when they were in the art gallery. I thought they were trying to like use the point of view from the pictures or the paintings, kind of. But it was just too much. It was too much. That was one of the things that ruined it for me from the start. Like, I knew I was not going to enjoy this movie because it was just, I kept getting distracted with the shots from the painting's point of view. And the color grading of this movie, it felt too dreamy. Like, it's just, personally, it felt too dreamy. It felt too dreamy. I think it was too much. I don't know the language I can use for it because I'm really not. Most of these things, camera angles, grading, I really don't. I'm about storytelling. But for me to be distracted with the, color grading, the camera angles, I knew that, no, this was just not good enough for me. Because it felt too dreamy and too saturated. Maybe, was it saturated, I should say. It didn't make me enjoy the whole scenery of the northern part of Nigeria. So I didn't like the color grading. Overall, I think the writing was just the most non-good things for me, and the performance of the main character. I could have excused the rest, but the main character ruined the whole thing for me. That was it.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Nothing Must Change. Indika, do you want to tell us what you did not enjoy about Finding Nina?
Yeah, okay. Before I say what I didn't like, I forgot to say that I really connected with the main character in the way that, you know what, let me just go ahead and say what I did not like. So the film starts with northern Nigeria, right? That's what the teletext says. And then cuts to Lagos, Nigeria. So why are you not specific about where exactly in the north is it? And throughout the film, they keep saying, oh, I'm going to the north. Like, the north is big. So many different places, so many different people and different languages. Why just do a broad strokes covering? About a film that's supposed to be explaining and kind of exploring and showing us cleaning misconceptions. It doesn't really do that well. Or it doesn't even feel like it wants to do that because we're in the north. It feels like when you watch Hollywood movies and they go to Africa from New York. That's how he went from Lagos to the north. So that was one thing I didn't like about it. Yes, it was boring. It was really boring. I tried my best and thank God I finished it. This is interesting because there's nothing I will not watch. I watched 3 hours long videos of them just showing shit and people saying nonsense, and I couldn't get through this. And again, it looked really nice. There are beautiful sceneries to look at. There's rocks, there's mountains, and yet the film is boring. I also did not know that a romance was happening. I clearly the characters did not know self that romance was happening, especially the main character, JB. So I thought he wasn't aware at all that all that stuff was happening. I guess that's who he is, and I guess that's why all those women liked him. And he, what was he actually looking for, Nina? He mistakenly found her. Didn't go to the north to find it out. Anyway, you do find out later that he has been asking about her everywhere. And then when he does find out, that leads nowhere. It's not exactly falling in love with, it's not Nina falling in love with him that makes him realize he loves the other. There's no dilemma there. He doesn't even know what's going on up until when Nina asks him what this is. So we are not engaged with him because him as a character is not engaged. So I think that's what makes it boring, and that's where I got really lost along the finding in that thing. And in the end, he chooses Lagos. He chooses the girl in Lagos. He comes back to Lagos. So what's the point of the whole? Oh my God, we are going to show. I guess it works as a Nat Geographic movie if you turn off the sound. So yeah, that's my end.
Oh wow. Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. All right. Next, Hara Amani. Please tell us what you did not like about Finding Nina.
Not you skipping me.
We know you're still watching the film. I'm giving you time. Why are you talking when you have not finished watching? Watch your film in peace. We call you when you have digested more of the film. All right. Hara, go on, please.
Okay. So, I think for a movie that claims to want to squash the negativity surrounding the North, I think it does the complete opposite. That's one. Because you want to tell people that the North is actually a good place to stay, right? And you want them to visit. But then, okay, I have been to Jos. I'm actually a Northern. I grew up, although I grew up in Lagos, just like JV. I still live here. But the thing is, I have been to Jos, so I know that movie was shot in Jos. But to other people, it's just like what the first person, the first speaker, the point he tried to make. He says, at least give us a location. Jos, Nigeria would have been better. And even at that, at least try and give us, the city of Jos, not the village. Because I don't even know where exactly that place was. And then the first thing you go and do is show 4 people sitting in the front row seat and then another person at the booth. Like, if anyone looked at that and be like, well, we're right. The North isn't actually a beautiful place. So that's one. And secondly, I think JB's uncle, he talks too much and conveys so little. I speak Hausa very well, though I'm not Hausa, but I speak Hausa very well. And and then again, this one is just, I think I'm just nitpicking, but the translation and what they're saying, it doesn't really rhyme all the time. They say too much and then the translations are just very, very little. Yeah, and I think thirdly, I think the script does a great disservice to Nina herself because she was the central focus of the movie initially, finding Nina basically. So all of a sudden, he finds Nina, and then I think she was just there to make him realize that who he actually loved all this time was Raya, and after that, the script just dumped her like him. That's not nice. I even thought, I thought this movie could have gone a different route. Like, for example, he goes to the North, he finds Nina, they spend time together, but then she has to tell him she is maybe engaged to someone else. He begs her not to go through with it, but eventually she gets married to the other guy. He's heartbroken, so he kind of stumbles into a den of, bad people like thieves and all of that, and they beat him up. And Raya, hearing this, rushes directly to Jos to see him. And she is like the first person he sees when he opens his eyes. And that's what makes him realize that, actually, Raya is the person I've always loved all this while. I think if the movie had gone this way, it would have been better than just using Nina and just dumping her. Both the script and JV did that. So that's all.
Woo! So about the script, about JB and the script did that. I agree. And honestly, can I say, Hara, when you started with the movie, did the opposite to Joss. I was like, I was thinking, I don't think it should to the north. Sorry, because the guy's intention was like. Yeah, it's always terrible narratives when it comes to the North kind of thing. And when you said it did the opposite or did the same thing, or something similar, I wasn't sold at the beginning because I thought that it wasn't that bad. I thought it didn't help, but I thought it wasn't that bad. But I think by the end of your points, I think you sold me because at least visit a city, at least go by a city because it feels, even though I know, we understand he's going to the village, but it feels almost like the same thing or something similar. It's not as bad, obviously, but we've shown some of the economically challenging positions where everybody's trying to fit into a cab. He's also getting beaten up. They're not like really, we see some nice landscapes, but there's not a lot of, great showcasing a lot more of what the North can be about other than some simple things. But yeah, don't worry, you get to talk more later. I'm just buttressing your points. So we'll discuss more. Vanessa, are you ready or should Mrs. C go first? So whilst you watch.
I'm ready because I don't know what else people want me to watch. I'm 58. I'm an hour in. If you should please pity me. I'm tired. I'm bored, guys. And watching it with sound off is even worse. Um, but like, okay, let's just start with the fact that the writing sucks. But what's more than the writing is the dialogue. The dialogue is honestly scratching my ears. I'm sick of it. Who wrote this? Who wrote the dialogue in this? And you know what makes it worse? JB's acting. He's not delivering these lines. Had he been here delivering the lines with conviction, perhaps I can believe the dialogue. But it's not even, he's not helping matters. Oh God, I'm sick of it. You know a line that I hate? That's shocking, but interesting at the same time. You know who he said that to? The young boy who, I don't know, why is he nameless? Why is he nameless? Or I did not hear his name. Did they tell us his name? Somebody.
Mrs. P says he thinks his name is Abdul, which could be
Abdul.
accurate or racist.
How generic a name are you gonna give this young man? Abdul? No wahala. Alright. Abdul, he says that about Abdul. And again, for someone who says there's such a horrible narrative being, and this is the thing, I think, and that's the running theme everyone's gonna talk about, how this film does the entire opposite of what it says it intends to do. So if you're not going to show us big cities and, give us the full story, the full picture of what, in quotes, the North looks like, this nondescript, non-specific North looks like, and you're going to focus on the people, the least you can do is treat these people with respect and give them body. So he says that to a young boy who says, aside from you paying me to take you to the village, I want you to teach me how to take pictures. And he says, that's shocking, but interesting at the same time. Huh? Weren't you a young child in the North, in quotes, before your father took you to Lagos, who was introduced to cameras at the same age as Abdul? So why can't Abdul be interested in photography? Dakun, why can't Abdul be interested in photography? What are we, so you're saying, and this is the thing, I don't know, and if the film is going to tell us that he speaks about the North from an idealistic point of view, because he has nostalgia attached to it from growing up, then do that. Give us that commentary. If you're going to own something, give us that commentary. If you're going to say his point of view of the North is very idealistic because he left when he was a child. However, the North is not all bad, but it is flawed. Give us full commentary. Don't tell us you are saying one thing, but then say the complete opposite. It doesn't make any sense. No sense at all. And then this is my thing, innit? The way they're depicting the culture and the tradition and how he walks up to these people and says he wants to take photos of them. He's not even invested in engaging with his culture. Mind you, this is his culture. And while, yes, don't cast somebody who can't speak Hausa and then have them forcing the Hausa. So I guess they figured he should just not speak the Hausa, right? At least give us some indication that he's interested in learning how to speak Hausa. He says he understands. While he's around these people, practice. Show something that shows that you care about this culture, that beyond just going to take pictures of people and asking for permission to take these pictures of people. I don't know. A lot of the writing just doesn't help. It doesn't help the cause that this film says it's carrying on its shoulders. And even with the landscape, Mr. C stole my point. It's just landscape. You're showing us mountains, and maybe once in a while people are dancing at a wedding. And yes, these are cultures. They have weddings, they have parties, they have festivals. But you've got to show us more than that to tell us that the North is being painted. There's a false narrative being painted about the North in quotes. You have to go deeper than pretty mountains and pretty forests and pretty desert. There has to be more, is all I'm saying. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right, continue watching Silence. Oh, all right. You know the dialogue is bad when it's getting through in silence.
The subtitles are on, and I'm watching their faces. The subtitles are on. I'm watching their faces, and it's not working.
No, it's not better with sound, I promise.
Oh, damn it.
Alana, all right. You missed the good section, so if you want to do any small recap of your good and your bad, Alana, you can tell us the two. Hey. Wait, can't hear you, Alana. Can anybody else hear Alana? Is it just me? Hello?
I can't hear her.
Okay. Alana, we can't hear you. Please go back off and come back on. Read some comments. And read some comments. Okay. Richie says, I want to say justice for Nina, especially using her name in the title. Yeah, that's very much legit. Still Human says, dislikes, it was boring. The movie lost the plot in the second half. JB is clearly a confused person and he deserved that beating. Agreed. Then, Mui says, the film tried too hard to be deep and it gave nothing. The writing, you just know a man wrote it because I said it. I said it too. The funny thing is, like, when this film came up, it had, I think, four writers. And I was like, I didn't catch. I just saw 4 lines, right? And then towards the end, it was like, I said, it just feels like this was written by a man. And then I remember it was written by 4 writers. And then I checked his names. I can't vouch for 4 of them, all 4, but I can vouch for 3 of the 4 were men. And if that 4th one is a woman, I know she was outnumbered. So anyway, all right, we are right. The writing is just, back to what Miri said, the backstory of our lead's mom allegedly cheating was not needed at all. I don't know what he's doing there. I don't know what he's doing there. All right, Adeyemi says the writing wasn't convincing. Is this a romance hunt or a search for purpose and rediscovery? It thinks it did both, but I don't think it did either. Tomio Joe wasn't convincing as an arts curator. Jabe obviously is a foodie, but failed to use his photography to sell the North when it matters, especially at the wedding. I don't know why someone that hadn't been anywhere in the North for over a decade was so certain that it wasn't being portrayed properly. Like, he wasn't engaging with the culture after all his years and supposed love for the North. All right. Okay. Alan, do you want to try? Let's see whether we can, let's see whether we can
Okay.
hear you.
Am I on now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Good evening.
Good
So,
evening.
the lights. I like the scenery. I liked the lady who plays Nina. She's very pretty. Yeah, I got lost in her eyes and just her general features most of the movie. So she's very pretty. Vino Lugo is also very pretty. So that was a like. Um. ah, yeah. I liked a few of the shots. I liked the some of the locations, like when he went to see the ring guy. I liked the ring guy's lair or whatever, and yeah, there were a few good shots. I can't recall now, but I know there were some decent shots that I liked as well. So yeah, that's for the likes. For the dislikes, first of all, this Jabari, I forgot his name, JB. This guy is an embodiment of all that rural dwellers hate about city people. Like, he is a walking city boy stereotype. Every single thing that is wrong with the city whatever person, it's him. First of all, you just don't speak Hausa. Bro, you grew up there. What were you doing the first how many years of your life that you were there? You can understand, but you don't speak. Fair enough. Then you're all I want to speak for the North. I want to show the North. I want to do this and North. And it's such a pretentious thing to do, because you are getting so worked up, and then finally you're like, well, why don't you just go and do this stuff? And he goes there, and what does he do? He says looking for woman first of all. Brotherly, now woman carry you go that place. Okay, you are looking for woman. Did you even look for the woman? No, just went to some dude's ring layer and was like, well, I'm looking for her, and he gave you this ring. God. It just felt like, can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. It just felt like somebody wanted to be fake deep and wrote something to be fake deep, and it wasn't given at all. They used Nina's name for clickbait. Nobody was finding Nina. In fact, they even played in Nina's face. Like, I'm just imagining this girl, like, finally she met this guy. Maybe she even came to meet him to ask him, about the whole Lagos thing. And maybe she was thinking this guy was going to suggest, maybe we can get married or some weird stuff like that. Because obviously people are talking. It's a small community. And they are seeing this single lady hanging out with this single guy. So obviously they're going to wonder what's going on with them. And he's just blank, because he suddenly realizes, it's Raya. He has always liked. Brotherly, did you go there to take pictures of the North, or did you go there to discover that you really liked Raya? And it was, the entire thing was just, it wasn't giving. I don't know what they thought it was supposed to give, but the dialogue was poor. The whole idea of the Abdul guy, a very generic name, because I'm very sure that this guy could have been, they could have given him an actual native name that's maybe not even a Muslim name. The northern Nigeria, they could identify Lagos. Why didn't they just call it southwestern Nigeria or something? They identified Lagos, but they couldn't identify where exactly they were in northern Nigeria. Again, it's almost disrespectful. And then this guy, what's his name? Fred? I think his name was Fred Frank. I don't know. The guy who played that. God. The acting left a lot to be desired. Him, all of them, that's him, Tommy, and JB guy in a scene together, left a lot to be desired. It was just tired, and it was a great idea, poorly executed. Like, I know, I'm sure they had great vision for this story, but the writing wasn't good. The vision was not realized. It just was. So yeah.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Alan. I think we just had a new addition with Chris. I'm going to team Chris from your Twitter handle. Chris, do you want to tell us some of the things you liked and you disliked about Finding Nina?
Hello, guys. I don't know if you can hear me.
We can. Go
Good
ahead.
evening. Yeah, so the takes on the movie are actually much more interesting than the movie is. No shades intended. I can I can relate to some parts of the comments of certain people here.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Chris. This sounds like you're going to be reacting to some of the comments. We have a special section for that. If you want to do that, in fact, we can start you off very first, but at this point, we're talking about the things we don't like. If we talk about the things we liked, then we talk about the things we don't like, then we disagree with each other, and then we do a summary at the end. So
Fair.
which we're currently at the point where we're talking about things we don't like. But I know you weren't here for the things we liked section. If you want to say what you like and what you don't like, this is the opportunity for that now. If you want to react to other people's comments, that's after this.
Okay. All right. So my answer is not directly in reaction to their comments. It's just tying it to what I liked and didn't like about the movie. So
Okay.
personally, I spent the greater part of my life in the north. Born, raised, how did he say himself? Born, bred, and buttered. Yeah, that's the arrangement. Yeah, in Sokoto. And I lived with a couple of people who had the same sentiment like the character, JB, that the image that the north is being is given is not truly the entire thing. So for me, the story would have been much better if he had just one central theme. Are you focusing on a northern guy going out of the north for some time and coming back and looking for love? Or are you just bringing up an idea that, okay, there are parts of the north that are not projected right, that should be? Because from the artwork, it's just it's a perception. There's beauty in a lot of things. Some persons could look at that image and see beauty in it. Some persons could look at it and then a narrative is projected. So I think the entire plot was not centered. The conversations would have been much more. There would have been maybe not so serious, but life in the story. It sounds like a very calm and relatable story, but it would have been executed with much more life. Maybe they didn't spend much time with the script, I don't know, but it was not conveyed. And for someone like me who shares this sentiment about projecting parts of the North that are actually good, um, I'm a bit disappointed. I really thought that with the whole idea I got about the movie from the beginning, I would maybe get an insight different from what I experienced while in the North. Yeah, that's me for now. Thank you.
Okay. No, thank you. Thank you for all the comments. Mrs. C, can you tell us what you did not like about Finding Nina?
Yes, I can. So, before, who mentioned this? I can't remember now. Sorry, no, this. But before somebody asked how, maybe it was Vanessa, how come, or was it Olana, how come he forgot Hausa when he grew up there? I was initially saying, you know what, representation for those of us who can understand but cannot speak our language. And then I was like, hold up, it's true. It's true. Because if I was in my village for 10 years, before I moved to God knows where, I will be able to speak my language. Let's be for real. So yeah, that was off, but that was not bueno. Second, I was watching this thing and I remember telling Mr. C that I don't think we understand the difference, or we're able to do muted without making it dull. We don't quite understand the difference between muted and dull. And I think they were going for muted and it just came off as incredibly dull. Everything was dull. The dialogue was a big problem for me as well. And I think was it the first time he was doing his little preachy tirade about everyone has his perception of the North. It sounded so PSA. It's like, this is not how people have conversation. This is PSA. This is someone doing a YouTube video before he goes off to doing the introductory bit of a documentary, right? there is a perception in Nigeria that northern Nigeria is only full of Almajiri children, poverty, and heat. Well, today, Nat Geo Wild takes you to somewhere in the north of Nigeria to discover the true culture of the north that you have not seen before. That's how it came across, not a conversation you're having with your friends and with people you know. And it's incredibly unnatural. I think there was also sort of time at the end, when he was talking on the phone and his doorbell rings and he goes, I wonder who's at the door. Who could be ringing at this time? Let me go and check who's at the door. And it's just tedious. All this extra, it's just, you're not writing how people speak. And, there is Aaron Sorkin that kind of writes in a way, Aaron Sorkin, that's not how people speak, but like that's his style, that's what you're trying to set this thing in the world, and you're not writing how people speak. And it's jarring and it's off-putting and it throws me off. Our lead, Jabir. Again, we continue with the unlikable leads. Again, your lead does not have to be a good person, right? But let me be able to root for them. I found his character tedious. Just absolutely tedious. And it was both a problem with the character and the actor. He's not strong enough to carry a film, for starters, and they put too much of the weight of the film on somebody who can't carry it. And then the character himself was not, I asked from where to where a couple of times, right? And it seems like the 4 people writing this film had different ideas of where this film was going. And we just cut and join all their ideas together and put it as film. Because somebody asked, was this self-discovery? Was this romance? Well, it was all. One person was writing self-discovery. One person was writing romance. One person was writing Nina is the friends we made along the way. And everybody packed their own, put it together, and made it into one film. Mr. Atib was asking, is Nina a metaphor? Until we found Nina Gongon, and Nina was a real person. And then Nina turned into a metaphor again. But not before ruining Nina's reputation in her small village and leaving her there to go back to Lagos to follow this other babe. Also, besides the fact that I cannot speak Hausa, I struggle to understand that this person understands or knows his culture. Right? And this person cannot be the champion of the culture if he does not understand it and know how to exist within the limitations of that culture. Couple of things. When he was taking pictures in the village and when he was trying to find Nina, right? He went and touched one random woman and said, Nina. Cannot be touching women like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a man cannot be going to touch Muslim women, veiled, a hijabi woman, right? You don't touch, you're not supposed to do it. You don't know her. You're not related to her, and you're just touching her. Now, if this is your culture, if this is where you're from, you have that understanding that you cannot just be touching women like that in the market. But he goes there and he does that and it jars me, right? When he's speaking to the old man and he's asking about his relationship with Nina, mind you, again, you're in a small town, small village. Muslim village or non-Muslim village, northern village or non-northern village. There is a way news travels within small towns and within villages. And there's a way people start talking about you, right? If you have a village in Nigeria, you understand this. So when the man asks why he's looking for her and he tells her, me and Nina have a special connection. It's like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Why are you speaking like this? And then he starts going about with Nina, up and down, just the 2 of them. Maybe Abdul once as chaperone, right? And when she asks what happens next and he says, you come to Lagos with me, I was confused. Because again, you cannot just carry somebody to Lagos. Are you marrying her? Because again, you have to understand the context wherein these things exist, right? And again, her reaction to it as well also threw me because, and later she starts talking about the reputational thing, right? People are talking and people have been seeing us and about. You're from a place where people talk. You're not following a man to Lagos that has not come to see, I think her parents are dead, but share somebody in your family. They need to come and see somebody in your family and exchange some goats or cows or whatever it is we got to do. What? I'm Nigerian. I did not goat, cow and other things we must exchange before you carry wife and go to Lagos. So again, I'm like, I don't think this person understands or respects this culture he is so militant about portraying properly. It's like, this is not the guy to hang your film on. And then the whole relationship with Tommy's character, it's, she talks about she's been giving him green light. And then when this other guy comes in, he has an angry face when they're talking. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's interested. And then she comes home and she's basically throwing herself at him. And he's insistent on sleeping in the living room. And not an insistence that is like, oh, I'm interested, but I'm going to give you some space. Very much a ew. So I'm like, okay, I guess he's not interested. And then he's in the north with Nina, and he's like, Nina this, Nina that, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever met. I'm sorry, no. You are not telling a woman you're interested in that another woman is the most beautiful woman you have ever seen in your life. Even if you think it, you're not saying it. So I think, okay, he's clearly not interested. And then he starts giving Abdul backstory on his mommy cheating on his daddy. I'm like, why are you telling Abdul this? And then the film tries to make me think that, oh, they were thinking about it too. And then I say, why am I telling you this? Is a lie. You don't get out of it that easily. Just because you are aware you are doing something dumb doesn't mean I'm not going to say you're doing something dumb. Why are we telling Abdul this? Where did this incel come from? Where did this, oh, all women are trash and you can't trust them guy come from? Like, I didn't know this was, why are we hearing this like close to the end of the film? Shasha, in summary, there's very much beautiful gowns with this film. The story was very confused. The dialogue was bad. And our lead could not carry it, and the main character himself did not understand or seem to respect the culture he was claiming to be promoting. So, yeah.
Okay, all right. So, things I did not like. I didn't like the score. I thought the score was. I think a few minutes in, I said I thought the direction was interesting because of the way it started. It already had interesting choices. And then, but the score right off the gate, I was like, I'm not going to like the score of this. And it just kept on. So yes, the character JB, Nollywood make your protagonist a likable character or a character you want to at least root for. Challenge impossible. Maybe we go again next week. We'll see. We'll see whether we can achieve this. JB's just like for a lot of the things that everybody has said. Just a very annoying, terrible character. See Mrs. C's version. I think she's covered it thoroughly. I think some of the shots where I praised some of I called a lot of the shots interesting, and they were, and a lot of them were generally interesting good. Some were interesting bad. I don't know. There was a shot where we had a close up on Nina's face, and she's being framed. So it was Nina and JB, and they're framing her, doing this close up on her, and she's framed so romantically, and almost like you're supposed to be looking at her and falling for her. But JB is giving the least risk possible at this point. Like, he's doing, his character is just casual and detached. The conversation doesn't seem like, I don't know why why are we doing this close up shot where she's looking all pretty and like, you're going very close, like we're supposed to be. I didn't understand it. And most of the shots were, there was that one, and then there was one shot where when JB was looking at like his selection of pictures, most of the film has its shots on like kind of, they're usually steady and the camera is more intentional. And then for one shot where JB is looking at his photographs, it's handheld and he's shaking, and like, I'm like, for this, why? Like, why? Interesting, but it doesn't seem to be conveying any message that that makes any sense to me anyway at the time. So this Nina being, I think a bunch of people have mentioned this, Nina being the friends we found along the way type thing. It's quite nasty, I felt, to both of the women in this, because, like Mrs. C said, she's ruined this Nina's life. No, let me not say life, reputation. Ruined this Nina's reputation, and then we've had Tomejo's character being humiliated, throwing herself at him, just pathetic, in the most pathetic, derogatory, proper, pathetic way. And also just, being it was almost like, I don't know what's in it for her from her perspective. Why does she like him? He's an asshole. Like, he's not into her. And I think this is a thing I've said previously on NFC. Anytime you treat a fine babe with this kind of disdain, it's difficult to buy it in the first place. But yeah, it's even more difficult to buy that this babe is struggling for options, more legitimate options than this very boring, very bland person who has no personality other than brooding, to be honest, for the most part when we see him. And I guess he's a decent photographer, but I didn't like that aspect of it. What I thought was the way that they could have helped this is, number one, they probably shouldn't have made the way because I was thinking about this film like 20, 30 minutes in, because I was like, how can this movie pick up from here? Where can this movie go? Because we've already shown Tomi's character being like desperately throwing herself. I'm saying, where's this going from here? Like, how is this? Because like they haven't even given us another option for her to really end up with that is viable, right? The other person, this person is obviously an asshole. So it's like, how are they going to make this work? They haven't shown any interest in her at this point. And then I was like, is Nina going to be a metaphor? I was thinking what they should have done is, number one, they shouldn't have made it as desperate. But if they use Nina as some sort of way for Nina to represent this, like Vanessa was saying, this nostalgic, idealistic version of what he thought the North was, that, without demonizing it, it's like, yeah, there's some things that he likes, but maybe he's changed since he moved to Lagos. He's now a different person. There's some things he can't connect with her at this time. There's some things that he's moved on from, and that it's just much more different. If that was where, they could have had them think they were in love, but like, they just do nothing with anything. This movie is about nothing. And that's why most people are finding a 90-minute movie boring. It's 90 minutes and you still made this tiresome and very pretty to look at, by the way, for the most part. Much prettier than most of the things. You had something that was pretty short and you still managed to find a way to make it boring. So anyway, I don't feel like speaking about this movie for much longer, to be honest. It's just not, it wasn't for me. Putting Nina in putting Nina as the name of the film is something. It's quite a choice. But, I think what's the worst thing? When I said I feel like this was made by a man, is that just all these beautiful women are just, take me, man. And it's just up to him. Just at the end of the day, pick which one you want, my guy. Pick which one you want. I wish we live in that world. The hot woman. I mean, is late for me now. I've already picked it. I've already done my picking. I picked him up, but yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it? It just would be nice, but it was just these two fine women just waiting for him. Oh, yeah, to make his own pick. But yeah, I didn't particularly enjoy that. I didn't think it made any sense for it to just be like that. And putting Tommy's character in the thing. Oh, she was the Nina all along. If they had used, if he called Nina some other name, like something more generic, like, something endearing, like I don't know, my honey, my love or something, but something a bit more specific like that, but that could be used. And he thought Nina was going to be his love, but he finds out that Tommy was actually his love. Makes sense. But using actually Nina's name and putting Tommy in the anyway, let's round this. Let's round up. Let's go to pushbacks. All right. So Hara, you have your hand up. What is there anything you wanted to mention?
Yeah, I was going to say that the movie is not grounded in realism. The first point, the other lady already broke it down really well. You do not go to the north and start touching women. You're asking for trouble. Secondly, Nina saying she would love to go to Lagos with Jabir. I understand if Jabir was making the proposal, which he did, because of course he grew up in Lagos. But her, who remained in the north, and she did mention that after the riot, she moved to Hadejia with her aunt. And Hadejia is like deeply rooted in culture. So I was expecting her to, when JB mentioned, oh, I will take you to Lagos, she'd be like, no, I can't follow you to Lagos because there's nothing between us. But surprisingly, she was okay with the choice. Yeah, so that doesn't happen. Secondly, the whole Almajiri part, that kid being interested in photography, good evening. That whole Almajiri kid being interested in photography, that's not true. These kids were plunged into this life at a very early age, so that choice was taken from them. All they want is you just give them food and they'll be okay. And the whole part of him being able to understand that complex English that JV was saying, that's not also true. There's no realism to it at all. So they're trying to tell us that, Almajiris are not just dumb or illiterate. They're actually learned. But if for someone like me who knows Almajiri a lot, trust me, even what they were sent to learn, they don't know it at all. Sorry, I'm at the roadside.
Okay. No, thank you. I do want to say, like, with regards to this grounded in realism, I think both Hara and Mrs. C touched on this, and it's not like it's more of the world that is. Screen doesn't have to be grounded in realism, but it's trying to portray this world where the culture isn't being portrayed right, or people are putting negative connotations on the culture. So you kind of have to get the culture right. You don't have to display everything in the culture, but you shouldn't display things that are incorrect about the culture. So I think that's where the criticism is fair to be pointed at. But like, yeah, it don't have to be realistic in the sense of our world, but it can't run counter in the world you're trying to create. But yeah, does anybody have any pushback to anything anybody said? I don't remember anybody liking anything. Oh, except the acting, which I think already said. Somebody said this, the acting. I thought JB's acting in the first part was okay. No, I don't. I thought it was okay, but I think it's only okay in that he didn't mess up too much. But I think that without calling my goat, if he gave this to a Buchi Franklin, I think because he knows he's going to fall in love with her, I think he would have given us some breadcrumbs in the way he reacted to Tommy's character at the beginning, before later on when he decides, oh, it's to me that at least we'll go, oh, okay, at least there was something there. But this guy, yeah, no. All right. I think Vanessa's hand went up first. Vanessa?
I have two things to say and not necessarily pushback, but I also just want to point out. I know you were saying she doesn't have any options because they portrayed the Benga guy to be an asshole, but you just said something about breadcrumbing, right? And while Vine may still yet have a lot of things to learn when it comes to acting, when Vine is placed with someone who is a romantic interest, Vine does that thing where his eyes never leave that person. Even when he came into that gallery, right? And he had done his blustering about how government gives him contracts on one thing, one thing, one thing. And as she's leaving, after that woman comes, his eyes literally follow her. You can't now tell me that the other somebody, the other young man in the room, right, that was franking his face anyhow like shit, is the one who all of a sudden, I'm sorry, I just finished this film and that man was laying on the couch daydreaming about her. Stop it. Come off it now. I'm sorry, this is my second bad because I just finished. This man was laying, you expect me to believe you? This girl came into his house. Yes, she was a little maybe intoxicated, whatnot. But you're not even giving us, I told her to go and sleep upstairs by herself because I'm a man of honor. No, you are not a man of honor or valor. You don't like her. You don't like her. So you're not gonna convince me that you like her all of a sudden and she's your Nina. Giving me one useless monologue as he was packing his bag and baggages to leave the north in quote. Eh? And then poor Nina was crying her eyes out. Is this what we're supposed? Sorry, my second point is I came to call people by name. I just paused at the credit. Famous Odion Iraoya, you that you are in charge of the story. Let this not repeat itself again. The four people that write it. Oh, don't. Why is this thing making it hard for me to see who wrote it? There's number four people that wrote it. Where are the four people? Prime. Let me see who wrote it. There were four people that co-wrote it and I saw their names. Why is Prime not letting me see their names? I wanted to call them by name because all four of you. I don't know if you were all in the same room at the same time when you wrote this film. You people must have been high on cheap drugs. because there's no way all four of you sat down in a room and wrote this nonsense. 90 minutes and I'm bored to tears.
Has Prime
90
skipped to the
minutes.
next film? Because that's what they do sometimes. They're a very stupid app, to be honest.
Yes, Prime don't let me want to see who write this thing. Let me see who wrote this. There are four of them. I want to call them specifically by name. Oh God, it has skipped.
I don't, Prime is a very stupid app.
Prime is actually so dumb. It's not
Prime is
letting
a
me
stupid
see.
app. Yeah, yeah.
Oh God, I wish I could find their names and call them all by name because okay, wait. No. It just has
Maybe,
directors. So sorry, this famous guy. So not only are you in charge of now you
yeah,
create the story, now you direct him.
and I think he's one of the writers as well.
I am what oh God, famous. Famous, don't do this to me next time. And I appreciate Nemsia wanting to. And somebody said, I don't know who was saying, oh, muted, and he ended up boring. I just want to tell you people, guys, there's a running thread here. We are what? 5 Nemsia films? Well, 5 first, what do they call them? First project, first picture, diploma.
First features.
First feature. I knew it was something.
This is an
We are, is that Nemsia?
This is an MCL.
This is Nemsia. Sorry, I always confuse the two, both of them. Nemsia, is Nemsia that did what's that one with Adedoyin and the
Yes, is it after 30? Abi?
they did after 30 and then they did that
They
big
did
one that everybody
Suki.
really loved.
They did Suki. They did
They
after
did
30. They did Fire, Mott, and Kineko. Mott
and then they did that other one now with what's his name? Wale Ojo.
which one is that one? I can't remember.
The big one now that the guy had the lungs of a fish.
Oh, Breath of Life. Yeah.
Breath of that's exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
I,
My brain is not working very well. Yeah, they tend to try and go for muted, and these were not all about flash and pomp and pageantry. And 90% of the time, guys, except for maybe before 30, after 30, because they couldn't really mess too much with the way that that show felt. They didn't go the muted route, even though they did try to go a route that didn't make sense. But a lot of the time, it's boring. Moth and the fire and the flame, boring. This one, boring. There's a difference between muted, considered, calm, and boring. Guys, like somebody said, this space was way more interesting than 90 minutes of the. What are we doing? You know what? Everybody will be alright last. Pretty pictures though. I guess that's what Nemse is going to be known for. Pretty pictures, I guess.
Wow, yes. Well, this was the thing I think I remember saying this. I think I remember saying this about first features, that this is something we're going to have to be careful of, that if not, what will just happen is, it feels like we're at that stage again where I remember when we finally started using nice cameras at that time, but the story still sucked. But we're just so happy to be getting like such an upgrade in like cameras and like production quality that we're like, oh, this is very nice. This is very nice. Feels like we're there again, and still with production quality, we have stepped up again. But the soul for me of a film, which is the script, still sucks. It's still bad. Still very, very bad. All right, Inuka.
Yeah, so not necessarily a pushback, but I didn't like the name JB. I mean, Jaber is nice, but JB, like, why? That's a clown. You know, JB the clown that shows up at weddings and with the big yash and big. That's just what kept coming to my mind. And like, and this is your main character. This is a guy that everybody wants to be with. What happened to a very cool, name, JB? Really? I don't know. And yeah, let's watch something exciting next time, please.
I forgot Miss Coin. That's the fifth one of the, that's Nemsia.
Oh, Nancy, I did Miss Connie.
Yes.
Oh, it's true. I remember. Oh, yeah.
Nemsia did Miss Coin. So they've done 5 this year. Because Breath of Life was, I can't remember last year or 2 years ago. This time of it's in, I don't know how it works again. Anyway, let's round up and let's do our summaries, cause let's try and do one on the 1 hour and 30 minutes time. All right. Nollywood Must Change. Please give us a summary for Animina.
For me, I think finding they shot the first draft or the second draft or whatever, maybe the outline or whatever they shot. And I thought this was the first time filmmaker stuff that they were doing. I didn't know it was a NIMSA production. That was the other people's this thing. So sorry, NIMSA, you guys need to work on your writing, on Breath of Life, all your projects. I'm sorry, you the bank, you need after 30. So would I recommend this for anyone to watch? I don't think so, because somehow it was boring. So I don't know. It's just there. It wasn't my cup of tea, actually. I prefer we should have done scene. It would have been more interesting. We'd have had to laugh. You were able to laugh, but this one you can't even laugh. Because it was just like, these people just wanted to do film and they just do what they have to do. So I won't recommend it. I don't think you don't have to stress yourself, right? Nothing to lose. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Very much change. Enuka, do you want to give us your summary for Finding Nina?
Yeah, so finding in I'm not sure it's really honest about what it wants to be about, which is really clearing up stereotypes about the North. It's not even interested in the North at all. I don't exactly know what it is interested in because the romantic plot in the movie it's not interested in that either. I feel like it is interested in showing us, oh, we can shoot really nice shots. But a film is not just a collection of shots. There still has to be story. And I think that's an MCR problem. Because I think I remember saying this about, that was that first one, the one that won the AMVCA. Forgotten the name. Shit.
Breath of Life.
Breath of Life. Yeah, it's had shots that could easily be iconic shots. But the reason why they are not iconic shots, and I've not seen anybody talk about them till today, after 2 years, this movie comes out, because you cannot even remember the story of Breath of Life. The shots can be iconic, but there has to be a story. That the shots can be nice, but the story is what keeps people sat. It's the story that keeps people watching. So yeah, I don't know. The writing has always been the problem. As much as I like Miss Coin too, I wouldn't say it's the best written. It's not even well written at all. So I like Nemshi and I'll keep coming back because I like to watch beautiful films, but the storytelling has to start getting good.
All right. Thanks, Indika. Vanessa, do you want to give us a summary as somebody who has finished watching the film?
Thank you. As someone who has finished watching the film, I just want to say, guys, I didn't know that an hour 30 minutes could feel so long. Yeah, I think the general consensus is Nina was never found. Nina was a mirage. Nina was a metaphor. And if they had kept Nina a metaphor without bringing a real human being inside, I don't think anyone would have that many problems. This film was a badly done PSA, which, oddly enough, most PSA films tend to have problems, but this one was a PSA film that didn't know what essay was trying to make. And the announcement that this film was trying to make, it didn't make it. Unfortunately, the acting was quite mid. And this is me being generous because there were a couple people like young Abdul who, were carrying largely. Yeah, guys, pretty pictures, I guess. Like, it's nice enough to look at on occasion. So yeah, there's that.
All right. Thanks, Vanessa. Chris, do you want to give us your summary for Finding Nina?
All right. What I would say is basically no different from what a lot of people said. It would have been better. I think they started off with an interesting character, Tommy. The expectation was that as the movie went on, probably JB would help himself and help the film, and to think that he has a very good personality. I don't know, maybe like someone mentioned, the whole love and idealism were too heavy for him to carry. But yeah, in summary, it just reminded us that, oh, there's this thing that a narrative, as terrible as whatever it is carried about the nuts, but it didn't do anything to make us think about it, even within the 90 minutes. Talk more afterwards. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. Mrs. C, you want to give us your summary of Finding Nina?
It was very pretty to look at, but incredibly dull. And the writers and director had no understanding of the story they were trying to tell or the character they were trying to sell the story through.
Kind of pretty, boring, very badly written. Yeah. Okay. So that's my summary for Finding Nina. Thank you guys for tuning in for this special edition of Finding Nina. We all agree that justice for Nina, I think, if anything has been established, justice for Nina. And we try again next week to see whether we can have a Nollywood protagonist we like or root for. The journey continues. We might try it soon. I'll screen it this week, maybe my Monday or Tuesday. If it's just bad in a way where it's not even interesting to talk about, but Sin by G Mike, guys. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that, oh, we should have done Sin now. Because that's the kind of people you are. People who can never be pleased. Because I know if we
We should have done Sin because I know it will not be boring. Even if it's bad, even if it's anything, I know that it will not be boring.
See, this is how you guys are. You guys are actually the weapons fashioned against me. No, Allah. We will do Sin. We will still do Sin. Let's just say. We'll see next week. But thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks for all the people who spoke and watched the movie, and thank you for the people who listened. We'll see you next week, guys. Bye bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at Iroko Critic and join us every Sunday 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.